What's up, you guys? My name is Charlie. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be doing a video about different ways to study in nursing school and trying to give you different tips regarding studying that work better for your learning style. Now, throughout my college career, I have always thought that I was a tactile learner. And I still believe that that's true, but I have actually incorporated different ways because nursing school and prereq classes, totally different ball game. So keep watching this video if you want to know different things that I do to study for my nursing school exams. The first thing that I want to tell you guys to do before we get into the different methods of how I study is to pre-read the material. This is so important. If you're just going to try to jump into studying or just jump into lecture or lab and you haven't actually read the gist of what you're learning, like that's just not preparing yourself. That's going in blind. My professor gives us this sheet of paper that tells us what readings that they suggest or obviously what we're going to be learning for that day. I just look at that and make sure that I read what our lecture is going to be about, because if I don't, I'm just setting myself up for failure. So that's my number one thing to do. Studying, you need to make sure you have already looked over the material. With that being said, my favorite, probably the most effective way that I study is using a whiteboard. Now, I have two different methods of using the whiteboard. If you've seen my vlogs, you notice that I use my whiteboard for dosage calculations. Now, your girl is not good at dosage calculations. I'm not good at math. I'm dyslexic. Not saying that's a good reason not to be good at math. Math is just something that I have to really work hard to be good at, and we get tested on math every semester of nursing school. So I have to make sure I'm good at dosage calculations. What I like to do is use my whiteboard, work out the problems, see them nice, big, and everything drawn out so I can successfully conquer dosage calc, which I'm getting there. I'm getting a lot better. But dosage calc is always going to be something that I have to work harder on. So that's my first thing that I like to do on my whiteboard. Now, the second thing that I do on my whiteboard is brain dump. I will get my notes, or I'll just study one topic. I get my topic, I write it big up top, and I just empty my brain of everything that I know on that topic. Every little thing that I remember my professor saying, everything that I know is important, everything about it, I write it all down on my whiteboard, and then I go in my notes and say, okay, I forgot this, I forgot this. This is also good to do with another person, but if you're a single Pringle or you live alone like me, it's really something that you can do alone and just look at your notes and be like, okay, I missed this key point, I missed this key point. And I think this is probably the most effective way that I've learned to study, because like in my test, I can visually see my whiteboard. I can remember every point. I've noticed while I'm doing this, I actually write things in the exact same order every time. So if I'm brain dumping during my test, what do I know about this? What do I know about this? I picture it in my brain on my whiteboard. I remember this was what I wrote down for the third bullet. Of course, nursing school questions are like backwards. So I remember what I wrote and I like work it into the problem. If you've never taken a nursing school exam, that probably made no sense. So I highly suggest that you get a whiteboard. They were all out at the beginning of COVID with everyone teaching their kids at home. I actually got mine from Hobby Lobby. It was around 30-40 bucks. I ended up getting it for 15 on sale. So yeah, make sure you get a whiteboard. They are very helpful. Another way that I like to study is flashcards. Now, pharmacology, lab values, anything like that. Honestly, I put anything on flashcards. It doesn't matter. Definitions. Flashcards are essential, especially when you're trying to remember drug names. Now, you can use physical flashcards, or you can use websites like Quizlet and just make the flashcards on there. I actually use them both. I do my physical flashcards and I take them to work with me, or you can just look up your school name and put nursing, and you can probably find a Quizlet that someone made from a prior semester, and those are always good. I usually mainly focus on making my own physical flashcards, and I use someone else's Quizlet. Practice tests. Now, practice tests are amazing. You can find them online, you can make them with your friends. What me and my best nursing school friend like to do is I'll make one, she'll make one, and we'll switch, and we'll just do each other's practice tests. That is just a really good way of seeing how, one, questions that you never thought to ask, two, how someone else grasped the material and what they pulled out of it thinking that it was important, and three, it can just get you in the mind state of answering the question, because I know how to answer my questions, obviously, because I made the questions, but what she thinks is important and what I think were important probably are two different things sometimes. And just when someone else gives you the test, it kind of gives you that feeling of, okay, I need to do good on this, just like a real test would. I would put practice tests right under whiteboard notes because I use these both so often. So let's get into some study resources. First thing, resource-wise, that I would suggest is the NCLEX guide. I use that. I've been using that since before nursing school, just because one, can get a sense of NCLEX style questions, and nursing school is literally to prepare you from that exam. So why would you not use the study guide from that book? Another good resource I think you should do is go online and look at study guides that are already online. I personally am really investing in this journey, so I like to pay for mine. They're not that expensive. You can go find so many of them, but I honestly think that the best one is on Etsy. It is Cece's Guides. Now, I'm not just saying this. I use this guide and it is perfect. There's so many across so many different aspects of nursing school, and it's made by a nurse, because who else is going to teach you something other than a nurse? Since I'm in nursing fundamentals right now, I just have this one that I've been looking at. It is just the Fundamentals of Nursing Study Guide, and literally everything, and I'm not joking, everything that was on my first test is in this particular study guide. Also, even before I got in nursing school, I've seen this before. Like, I've seen CC study guides written out. I've seen this before. I don't know how. I guess it's because I watched so many YouTube videos, but before I even needed it, like, I feel like this is the most popular study guide because I honestly think that it's the best. I have the link in the description box, but I want to run through some of the things that are in this book that I 100% had on my test. Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross was on my test. We learned about Clara Barton and Florence Nightingale. That was on the test. The second thing, and I swear it's going in order, it's like, it makes no sense how perfect this thing is. The second thing that we learned about was the structure of nursing and the personnel and different hospital personnel, nursing ethics, HIPAA, and then like we went straight into, I think, vital signs. All of that is in here. There's also a guide on dosage calculations, which I will be ordering because I still need help. If you really, really, really are serious about nursing school and you want to make the best grades you can, you don't mind spending a little money on a good study guide. Those things are like a godsend. All of my friends have ordered one just because I told them that I had that, and that's what I use to study and how I make my quizzes and my practice tests. I usually have the best practice tests, not trying to brag, but it's because I use different guides and resources online. Speaking of resources online, there's also free resources online. You can use YouTube videos like this one. You can use, I watch so many registered nurse RN videos on dosage calculations, it's not even funny. I think I have probably seen every dosage calculation video on YouTube because that's what I'm struggling with. So make sure that you utilize and use this free resource of YouTube, because we live in a digital age and anything that you need is on here. One day I'm going to be making videos on how to do dosage calculations. Not now, because your girl's not confident in it. But one day when I get to that level, I'll be your girl to come back to. Another resource, use what the school provides for you. I didn't know this until probably my second week in nursing school, but my school, when I got my book, it actually came with a free subscription to Picmonic. Picmonic is amazing. I always learn mnemonics. That is always how I choose to learn. I need the dumb little story.
Use Picmonic to help remember how to classify different blood pressure readings.
Or the pictures, or just this word sounds like this word, or like I need the mnemonics to get through school. I've always been like that. I'm so sorry that I keep touching my hair. Y'all are probably annoyed with me. So I 100% think that you guys should get Picmonic, or just look and see what your school has to offer, because we have an ebook, we have Picmonic, we have The Point, that has a lot of practice tests. My school, like they also have free tutors for nursing students. Just make sure you're looking at all the resources that are available to you, because if you're not using them, I'm sure it's included in your tuition or your book fee. You're paying for it, so you should use it. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am a tactile learner. I need to see it, hear it, feel it, practice it. I need all of that, which is why I love lab. But if you're more of an auditory learner or not, because like I said, I still do this too. I would definitely see if you can just record the lecture. If you don't feel like asking and you just want to do it, that's on you. But I think that recording a lecture on your laptop or just getting a recorder is very, very, very helpful if your classes aren't already online where you can just rewatch the lectures. If you can rewatch the lectures, rewatch the lectures. Now, I'm in the military. I'm in the reserves. It's not too crazy. I drive 4 hours to get to my military base 1 weekend out of the month. I listen to lectures on the way because I don't study while I'm at drill because I'm doing military stuff. Make sure you're listening to these lectures whenever you can. That is such a, I'm not trying to be dramatic and say it's such a blessing, but to be able to re-listen to the lectures after they've given it is a resource that you have to use. That's how you pass tests. Another thing I want to say for more hands-on learners, my school only offered ebooks and I hate it. Honestly, I hate it. I love that I can have it on the go, but then again, I could take a book with me wherever I go. If I have my laptop, I have my book, and that's nice. But I would suggest getting a physical copy of your book so you can highlight, so you can see everything laid out. I don't like to split screen on my laptop because it's already so small. I just think that everyone should just get paper copies of books. If I'm paying for a book and I need to have the book in my hand. So that's another one of my tips, because I think that even if it is extra money to buy the physical copy, you can buy it used. You can look on Facebook Marketplace. You can look for different scholarships that give out free books. You can talk to other people who have been in the class before. Talk to your Student Nurses Association at your school, if there is one, and see if anyone has the books for sale. Look for Facebook buy sell trade pages for your college, because if they have one, I guarantee you some old nursing student is probably selling their book. And of course, the holy grail that everyone talks about, highlight your notes. Now, I highlight my notes different, and if you guys want a how I take my notes video, I'll be sure to do that. But a lot of people like to highlight their notes and use keys. This is what the professor said. She said this twice. Underline that. This is going to be on the test. She told me specifically that this is going to be on the test. I have questions about this. This sounds important. This is the date. I underline all numbers. Like stuff like that. If you think that that's the best way for you to learn, make sure you do that. I personally do not highlight that way. I have a different system. Like I said, if you guys want to see it, I'll do a video on it. But if highlighting is what you use to learn, make sure that you do that. Everyone learns different. Everyone needs different ways to study. And hopefully this video can help you. If you've been trying something and it's just not working for you anymore, what used to work doesn't work anymore. What worked 2 weeks for me don't work now that I'm doing midterms. I just try something else on this list, because I really think this video could help you. If you just step outside of your comfort zone or how you think it really works for you, try multiple things on the list at once. Don't just say, okay, I got a whiteboard, that's all I need. No, you still need the flashcards. You still need to highlight your notes. You still need to look on online resources. I hope you guys have had the best first start of the semester. I hope that your second half of the semester is even better than the first half of the semester. Let me know if there's anything that you guys want from me or anything that I can do to help you, because you guys, we can all be 4.0 students. I mean, C's get degrees, but we can all do it if we just work hard. I just want my channel to be helpful in any way, and if I've helped you with any of these tips, even if you've heard them all before, even if you just, I just want to help you guys, because making these videos is how I de-stress from nursing school. Talking about nursing school is how I de-stress from nursing school, because I have a paper to write. So I should probably get back to that. So thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. And you can always message me on Instagram and I'll try to answer you. I've been getting a lot of messages recently. I'm about to go back and read all of those and try to reply to all of them. Thank y'all for watching this video and be blessed.